Hey everybody, welcome back to a new episode of Entropia content. I made it to the teleporter yesterday. It took me a few tries. Trust me, you guys didn't want to watch it. I don't think I even found any fruit along the way. Or did I? No, didn't even find any fruit. But what I did find is a new teleporter I didn't have, and it's called Warrior's Peak. Man, is it ever a nice view from Warrior's Peak, eh? Maybe I'll make this the thumbnail. Yeah, let's make this the thumbnail. Warrior's Peak. Woo! No, I miss the days of being able to look at the camera in order to take selfies. I don't know why they removed that feature out of the game. Someone was telling me there's a way to still do it, but I haven't been able to find it. Well, someone explained it to me and I forgot. The other thing I noticed too is I fucked up labeling the names of my shows. If anyone can help me, if they can remember what episode it is. It's like people have been asking me to share the episode where I showed how much my, what is it called? Transaction history with Entropia to prove that it actually is possible to make a profit playing this game. I know when you go online, like 99% of people are going to go on and on about how it's impossible to make any money in this game. So I didn't make the episode to brag or anything to show off that technically it's nothing really to show off either. If I would have worked a job for the amount of hours I put into this, I would have made more. But just to prove that it is possible, right? Well, yeah, and big shout out to everyone who responded to my video yesterday, helping me with finding out what the God or Blood of the Gods does. Who was it? Yeah, I think it was Bonnie was telling me that it's part of one of the missions on Next Island, and you can use 3 Blood of the Gods to get into one of the instances. So I never got any feedback back if it's possible to sell the Blood of the Gods. I was thinking maybe it's a non-tradable item because it didn't have any markup. So if anyone knows if it's tradable, that'd be cool to find out. Who's this guy? Major Hoffman? There looks like a lot of people here that you can speak to, like mission people wise, but I can't get any of them to speak. So maybe I have to find someone else first who will ask me to go find Warrior's Peak, and then that's what will happen. Oh yeah, I think I seen some cool place to sit down and chat. With a nice view. That was weird, like, remember how I was telling everyone that when you quit cannabis you get incredible vivid dreams? Well, I was like, man, did I ever jinx it? Like for the first week or so, it's like I didn't barely get any dreams. Well, I did a little bit, but they weren't vivid. So I was like, shit, here I jinxed it. I was telling everyone that it'd be so easy to get vivid dreams. But last night, I don't know what it was, but the dreams kicked in. It was back-to-back dreams the whole night. I don't know if I got circles under my eyes, but man, it was hard to sleep. Kept waking up because, man, the dreams were so intense and vivid. So I don't know why. It's like it took a week. The only thing I can think of is maybe because of the whole weight loss thing. Like I said, I was burning a lot of THC into my bloodstream still, just from consuming all the fat cells. Yeah, speaking of consuming fat cells, let's just get a quick look and see where I'm at. Right, so let's bring that up next. Alright, so it looks like I have had a little bit of progress this week. Down to 205. See the weight. Man, I'm inching in. I'm about 10 pounds away or so from reaching my goal of actually being in the green on this category. Let's check out the trends. Yeah, I had a little bump in the road there, made it back up to 2608, but I realized that I forgot to go to the washroom first before I took the measurement. So after I did that, I was down to 205.8. Well, I guess I have been at 205.6 this week, so I'm still a 0.2 over, but it's still going in the right direction. I figure the whole lockdown I was up to 220 at one point, or about 215. So really, since the lockdown, I've lost about, I don't know, 10 pounds. I guess that's pretty good. I think it is a little bit on the fast side, to be honest. Yeah, I was overdoing it a little, because I know with you guys watching, I was like, shit, I want to try to make sure I don't fuck this up really bad. So I kind of overdid it on cutting back. Almost to the point of getting a little bit lightheaded at some point. So I'm like, oh, fuck, man. So I ended up drinking a glass of milk every time that happened. Try to boost my nutrients up. That's how I realized, I think people in the olden days started drinking milk, like maybe the first cavemen or whatever, once they realized that, man, milk is like one of those drinks that you can drink, and it's almost equivalent to a meal substitute. Looks like they have a PvP ring here and everything. The Octagon. Yeah, so were my dreams ever vivid? It's like I dreamt that I was partying with my old best friend. The one that died back in 2007, was it? Holy shit. Yeah, it's been a long time since. Yeah, so I got to party with him the whole night. When I woke up, I was a little bit sad that I realized he was dead, but it was kind of nice either way. Yeah, I try not to get too upset about that. We're all going to be dead one day, and who knows, maybe there is a heaven, we'll all get to meet up and party again. Hopefully. Now and then yesterday, I had a lot of fun too. Was I finally put together a new Gravity Well episode while sober, and it went a lot better. What the hell? Where's Fire Crystal? Baby's Crystal? Is it just me, or is Fire Crystal... Oh, it's Crystal Peak I'm looking for. Jeez. So distracted. Fire Crystal. Oh yeah, that's the Arcadia one. I was getting it mixed up. Yeah, so I'm going to try not going too hardcore onto the eating less. I'm surprised I made it down to 205 that other day. Now I was just thinking I got to try to be more pacing myself, because if I overdo it too much, it's not good for your health. Man, I get that problem all the time. It's like I always do everything to the extreme. Well anyways, yeah, I was doing my Gravity Well research, or videos yesterday, and if you guys, anyone has time to check one out and give it a review, that'd be cool. I know one guy already did. I think he's from the Clone Evolution community. He said he liked it, and that his name was almost the same as Perry Reese, the one guy who also worked on it in the olden days. Right, so... processing. Ancient Greece, like, I don't get, what is this choice at the beginning? Is it affecting the loot? Loyalist, Harpusex, Ressa, Stel. Let's try Harpusex. I don't really remember that too much. Now, sorry if anyone's not really into the mining episodes too much, but man, for me it's a lot of fun to play them. Like, I haven't really done mining much before, so when I do these, it's quite the adrenaline rush. I really have no experience mining. Yeah, I should say hi to everybody, instead of being so antisocial. Hey everybody. Alright, just unhook my phone here. Now, maybe my weight did go down a little bit today, but as you can tell, I'm starting to swell up again. Fucking got the workouts in again today. Now, I got my daily routine down a little bit better now that I've quit vaping. First thing I do in the morning is I wake up, get my workout in, or I go and look after my greenhouse, make sure all my plants are in good shape. I'll have to be careful. There's a bit of humidity building up in the mornings, and one piece of the bud already started going rotten, so I had to trim it off, and I couldn't just harvest it because it still has a long way to go. It sucks that I got bud rot on some of it already. Bud rot's the worst. And it's funny, I never even used to know what bud rot was. Like, I'd heard about it before, but I could never identify it. And now that I've been growing for a few years since legalization, now I actually have an idea exactly what it looks like. Come on. And it's funny too, I've been debating whether or not I should buy the new PlayStation 5 or the new Xbox. And what happened was I got very, very discouraged by PlayStation. Like, I don't know, I've been a Sony fan my whole life since the first PlayStation 1 was released. I don't think I told you guys the story before. I guess I'll tell you this one. It's like me and my best friend, the one that died, he used to be really into renting games. And we had this game shop by our house. What was it called? Not the Games Exchange. Play It Again Games or something like that. Or Discount Games. I think maybe that's what it was called. Anyways, I guess the name doesn't really matter. So he was renting from them, and what they realized is that consoles come out in Japan, like before they do in North America. So what they did is they ended up buying the Sony PlayStation 1 before it was even released in America, and then they started renting it out here at their shop in Canada. Oh fuck, my thing is almost out. I better repair it before I go. So we were playing the PlayStation 1, like he rented it, my buddy, and we were playing it, like, I don't know, I can't remember, how early did the PlayStation 1 come out in Japan first? Was it like a year in advance? I can't even remember. But anyways, it was definitely a good chunk of time in advance. So here we are playing the console, and the one downfall was I can't remember, I think the power converter was still the same, which I was surprised. Shouldn't that have been different in Japan? But anyways, the power was fine, so we could play it, but the only problem was that, as you can imagine, all the games were in Japanese and not English. But luckily, the early PlayStation games that he got to rent with it were all just like action games. So you had a fighting game, I think it might have been the first Tekken, I can't remember. And then another one was like a racing game. It was like one of the very first racing games, I can't remember, Ridge Racer or something like that. Yeah, so we were playing all these action games. Come on, where's my items? Oh, they're over here. Yeah, so we got to play the first PlayStation. Man, did I love it. And then ever since that day, I was like, man, I'm sold on Sony. I'm not buying Nintendo anymore. I'm not buying any other consoles. Just buying Sony, Sony, Sony. Because I love Sony drastically better. Where's the repair terminal? Trade, storage, construction, technician, auction. Is it just me, or is there no repair terminal here? Probably is, and I'm just not seeing it. Ah, here's somebody. Yeah, so if anyone can go into the archive of videos and check to see where I did the... Like, I titled one video, what was it called? The transaction history. But then I watched that one, and that was the one where I failed to get the transaction history. So I was like, fuck, what's the episode that I got the transaction history? I didn't name it that. Stupid. Yeah, so here I am. I can't even find my own fucking episodes. There's no repair terminal here. How fucking annoying, right? Right, so I guess I gotta go find a repair terminal and then come back here. Oh well, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, so to finish my story with PlayStation, oh yeah, and I didn't finish the Immortal story yesterday. So I'll just summarize that one quick before I forget and go on to a new story. Yeah, so the guy got to the home of the Immortals, knocks on the door, he's like, hey, can I come in? And they're like, no, sorry, we can't let any more people in. The home of the Immortals is packed full. And he's like, but I'm really good at music. And then they're like, no, sorry, we got already the best musicians in here in the entire universe, so we don't need you. And then he's like, but I'm also a good artist, or amazing artist. And they're like, nope, 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 sorry, we already got the best artists. Then he's like, oh, but I'm also a really good fighter and warrior. And they're like, oh, nope, nope, sorry, we already got the best warriors. And then he kept going on and on, all these different skills that he's the best at. And then they're all like, nope, nope, we got someone like that. And then at the very end, you know what he said? He's like, I know why you should let me in. And they're like, why? He's like, do you have someone that's that good at everything? Like, he had that skill in so many different ways that he was the best, right? So then they consider it and they're like, wait a minute, yeah, we do have people that specialize in everything, but they don't have one person that was the best at everything. So they let him in. So I was like, that was kind of a neat story. Sorry to butcher the ending. If anyone wants to watch it, I think I linked it at the end yesterday. Pretty sure I remembered. It was like an old Scottish guy with a beard. He's got a funny accent. Well, I shouldn't say funny. For us people in America, I guess the other accents of speaking English sound funny. Because we really don't hear any accents here. Now, if anyone's wondering, when Europeans came to Canada, we all abandoned all of our native cultures and just all became Canadians. No one was allowed to speak any of our original languages. We learned nothing about the countries we came from. And especially in school, they definitely didn't teach us anything about being European. What they taught us was Native American history. They just shoved it down our throats for our whole lives. We were never allowed to learn anything about our own culture. So I was like, man, that's kind of fucked up. Especially when you see the news today, they're going on about how they teach no native history. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? In Canada, that's all they taught. There was no European history in it. Fuck, did I not repair the thing? It's like I went to the terminal, clicked it, and then got distracted talking. Maybe I'll say hi to everyone. I keep hoping someone will buy a Mankini, but no luck yet. Probably because the price fucking plummeted. Alright. Okay, back. That was just my roommate calling to help carry the stuff from the car. Oh boy. A little bit tired. Out of breath. Forget what I was talking about. Alright, let's see. What was I supposed to be doing? Oh yeah, repairing my tool. Can't forget your tool maintenance, right? That was actually one of the dreams I had last night. Maybe a little bit too graphic. Okay, I won't tell that story. No, summarize not to leave you guys hanging. Had a dream about making out with some babes. Go figure. Surprise, surprise. Sadly, I woke up before it got good. Hey, it's Goku. I like Goku. Now, Goku has one of my favorite sayings in Dragon Ball. He's like, you know when something really horrible happens? He's like, don't beat yourself up over it. And people are like, why? And he's like, you never know, that really horrible thing might actually just distracted you from doing something even worse. You didn't even know it. So it's like, here you're cursing it, meanwhile, it actually might have been a blessing in disguise. Or at least a partial blessing. Yeah, that was like one of my favorite lines from the show. I think about it every time I fuck up. So it's basically every day. Now, it's the truth though, right? Like, life is so uncertain. Why would you beat yourself up about something when you don't even know if something worse could have just been narrowly avoided, right? It's like the guys that missed their flight on 9/11, and then next thing they know, they're bitching about missing their flight, and then they see the plane crash, so they're like, oh fuck, I guess missing the flight wasn't that bad. Yeah, I shouldn't laugh, it's horrible. Oh god. Alright, so I guess I'll jump to the PlayStation story next. Yeah, I was looking up the history of PlayStation controllers, just to like see what kind of trend this is going. And I was kind of teaching the guys in my other show about it, because most of them are like teenagers and early 20s viewers. I noticed Entropia players are a little bit older category when it comes to it, because we have to be 18 in order to play now. So anyways, yeah, so the original Sony controller that came with the one from Japan was just a regular controller, shoulder buttons, no analogs, just a D-pad. And it was fucking sweet. Everyone loved it. Best controller ever invented. And then they came out with the PlayStation analog controller. Fuck, amazing. Even better. Then PlayStation 2 came out, and they made the same controller, I guess, basically. And it was still corded, all these corded controllers by this point. Then PlayStation 3 came out, and then they had the fucking wireless controller. So it was like way better. Am I gonna do the resources again? Should I? Yeah, see if we can get more Listeria. Oh fuck, I don't have any probes. Son of a... What an idiot. Today's episode is gonna be me running around getting supplies. Fuck. Don't find anything? Yes! Didn't want to have to run back. Only globals allowed. Oh yeah, that's why I didn't global yesterday. I had globals turned off. That's why. I'm sure it is. No, so then PlayStation 3 controller came out. Fucking sweet, wireless. Big improvement. The only thing, yeah, I guess you could say the battery life had constantly been going down, because the original two controller sets, they had cords, so infinite battery life. PlayStation 3 was still good though, like you're looking at like months before you have to charge your controller again, or at least weeks, depending how long you play it. Then PlayStation 4 controllers came out. That's where the curve started going downhill. PlayStation 4 controller for me is the worst controller I've ever used. Never used a worse one. Well, maybe a cell phone, but I don't even call that a real controller. So I was really disappointed. I'm like, I don't like the flashing lights on it. I don't like the fucking D-pad touchscreen thing, useless. And I fucking can't stand the battery length. You gotta charge it every day if you play it a lot. Or maybe it's just some of the controllers I've had, or I'm binge gaming too much, or I even went into the settings and went to the battery saver mode, have it turn off right away the second you stop touching it. Still, fucking battery just dies all the time. And I hate charging devices. So right there, I was like, fuck Sony, you dropped the ball on that one. You released a fucking lemon for a controller. In my opinion. I don't know, maybe some other people are watching. Do you like that little D-pad thing on the PlayStation controller? Like, not the D-pad, the touch screen, where you can move like a mouse icon around? Well, I've never used it once. So I'm like, why the hell is this thing even on the controller? I could see if they had a whole bunch of games that were all using it, and I'd be like, okay, that makes more sense, but to have no games use it, why the hell is it on there? And the other horrible thing too is fucking controller cost. When they changed the controller, it what, tripled in price? So I was like, dear God, I don't want to pay triple in price for the fucking controller that sucks balls. Not in a good way. Yeah, so I was like, fuck man, PlayStation dropped the ball. And I was thinking, you know what the weirdest thing is? People might not even realize, but PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 3 are compatible with the controllers. Like, it detects them, they work for it, but Sony added in this blocker thing, so they stopped all the PS3 controllers from working for PS4 except for one brand, those motion controllers, because they didn't want to release new ones. So I was like, what the fuck? So here we could be using my PlayStation 3 controller for the PS4, which is far superior, but Sony, the company, being the fucking jackasses they are, they hinder their own customers by adding a feature that ruins their life. Well, if you're a gamer. So I was like, man, like, what a fucking jackass company. Like, right there, I was like, man, I don't want to buy another Sony just because of that. Or that's one of the reasons. Hopefully I didn't, like, find all the minerals here already. What is that, 3 drops now, no finds? That's pretty bad ratio. Oh, I was going to say, did I pick the mission? Here, I was thinking, oh god, I forgot that. So yeah, it wasn't just the fucking controllers that started pissing me off the way Sony's been behaving. The next thing is the online game features. Or we got a tiny find in Listerium. That's good. Cheer me up. Woohoo! No, the next thing was the online features. When, what was it, the original Sony came out? I can't remember. Could you play that one online? I doubt it. And then, what was it, Sony 2? Oh yeah, Sony 2 is the one that first came out with online features. That's right. Because it was like a... Was it a modem that you had to buy to attach to the early units? I think that's how it worked. And then as PlayStation 2 came out with later models and they finally just included the modem or network adapter built into it instead of having to buy it as an add-on. So yeah, Sony was going in the right direction with that. But then what happened is at one point, like, Sony 2 was fucking paradise for online gaming. Like, I don't know, people probably don't realize, but everyone's like, oh, Fortnite and all these games, best game ever in history. It's like, actually, no, it's not even close. Like, the online PS2 games, they broke all the records, and these new modern games aren't anywhere near what they used to be in players. It's like, I think the old PS2 games have 10 times or even 100 times more players. So it's fucking ridiculous. It's not even close. And then I was like, what happened that fucking killed Sony's online players? And it was when they added that monthly fee to play online. It's like, it killed a lot of the online player content. And the games started getting worse. It's like back when I was playing PlayStation 2, there was games like SOCOM 2, Battlefield 2, Modern Combat. A lot of these online games were so addictive, everyone was playing them, not just gamers. Like my people's parents would buy it, fucking uncles and aunts, maybe even grandparents. So it was like fucking a lot of people were playing it. Today's games, it's just gamers. There's no like grandparents buying a PlayStation 5 to play it. So yeah, that's the main issue, I think, is when they started fucking getting greedy and making everyone pay just to use their fucking features. Oh, got some fruit. So it shouldn't be a find. No. Usually when you go... Oh wait, that reminds me. Yeah, yesterday after you guys logged off, I did find 2 fruit right next to each other again. Well, like 5 feet or 6 feet apart, whatever those would be in the game. Yeah, so today when you log on, I don't know if anyone's noticed, you can pop in any online PlayStation game for PS4. Almost every single game, every server, empty, empty, empty. Can't play any of the online features with anyone. And then I'm like, what the fuck? Is anyone playing online on PlayStation 4? Then I log into the free-to-play games. Yep, that's the only people that are playing online. And those games have an okay amount of people, but not really that many. Not compared to SOCOM or PlayStation 2 days. Not even close. So yeah, so I was like, holy shit, man, like, they fucking Sony killed the online gaming. It's like, right then and there, I'm like, there's another reason I don't want to buy a Sony product. Then the games, the fun factor in games. This was the real kicker and the final straw for me. PlayStation 1 games, fucking amazingly fun. Even though they had shitty graphics, they focused a lot on gameplay. Just made them fun to play. It's like you pick up the game, it was so fun, you're like, man, I can't even put this controller down. I'm quitting my job, staying home playing this game. How many people are doing that these days? Maybe occasional Fortnite addicts, but you don't see people doing it for every game that launches, right? And then, yeah, the fun factor too. PlayStation 2, like that SOCOM game and Battlefield 2, it was so good and so addictive. You know what the most popular thing for gamers to do back then was? Buy 3 TVs, 3 consoles, and 3 copies of the same game. And people are like, what the fuck? Why would you do that if you could just play it online? It's because people are doing the LAN parties. Like, especially at my house. I think we even had it up to 4 at one point. Where we'd have 4 TVs all hooked up in the same room. All of us playing the same game, Battlefield 2. And I think we even all had headsets. So we were communicating with the other players on our teams. But that's what we would do, is we'd have a whole team of people in the same room, so that if we didn't want to use the mics, we could still communicate with each other, and we would work as a team and do really good in the game. And it was so addictive like that. Like, everyone having their own screen. It was because in the old days, they used to split screens in like 4 or 2, if you had a multiplayer game like that. But then they stopped doing that, so then we're like, shit, we need extra TVs if we want more people to be able to play at the same time and go online. Yeah, so we had epic parties. Sometimes we would play for weeks on end, like especially in the summer holidays when school is over. We would just get fucking cases and cases, even kegs of beer, and fucking play the game for fucking non-stop. It was ridiculous. Like, it was like the worst addiction. In a way, I look back, I'm like, it was probably good that they stopped that game, because if it didn't, people would probably have no life. They would just be sitting around playing that game all day. But yeah, it was so fun. And if people don't know what made like Battlefield 2 and SOCOM so fun, it was like super balanced. Like, anyone could pick up the controller and win. So it's like, I don't know, if you played Fortnite and stuff, you'd pick up the controller, your odds of winning the whole game, your first try, it's probably like 1 in a million. Maybe some people do it if they're really good or something, but... yeah, so that's what I was going to say, is like, man... yeah, SOCOM 2 was like the first Battle Royale game, where it's like you actually had to start somewhere. They didn't fly you in on helicopters, but you just randomly started at different spots on the map. And then your objective was to stay alive as long as you could and be the last person alive on your team. Same thing with Battle Royale, right? So, yeah, that game was super fun. Still holds some of the records today. And the other thing that made those games popular, no in-app purchases. So that was like in the early dawn of online gaming. So they didn't realize that they could do online purchases at that point yet. Ah, fuck, why did I close that? Idiot. I keep thinking I'm seeing fruit there, or a stone. It's nothing but some sort of glitch on the ground. Or me. More likely me. Let's be real here. Something's wrong. It's me. Fuck these creatures. Where were they yesterday? Jackasses. Better check, make sure I didn't miss any of my finds and walk right past it. Yeah, okay, good. Yeah, so that's one of the things that made it. Oh yeah, Battlefield 2, Bridge Too Far, Modern Combat. I'll link it at the end of this episode. God, was it ever balanced? The one level they had created called Bridge Too Far, still to this day, it holds the record in most gamers from that era as the most best designed game or level ever. It was like, I don't know how they designed it so well, what it was, but I think what it was is they had like 2 bases that you could start in, and when you spawned in the base, there was 2 tanks you could choose from, 2 jeeps, or a helicopter. And then when the match started, everyone just scrambled to grab vehicles and go. And then a lot of these vehicles could fit tons of people in them. Like the Jeep, I think it could fit maybe 4, at least 3. Like a person in the back shooting, and then a driver and a passenger. And then what was the greatest about the Jeeps? They made a lot of the weapons one-hit kills for the Jeep. So if you shot it with a rocket launcher, it would just like explode like crazy, and everyone in the Jeep would die in 1 hit, and you would just rack up a whole ton of points. So it was like really addictive. Some people like just looked around to shoot Jeeps full of people. It was so fun. Yeah, and then the tank, you could have a driver or a gunner. And then if you had a good driver and gunner working in combination, they were almost deadly. Like you could never kill them unless it was another tank that they were fighting. But then they also added other kit gears, like you have loadouts they could pick, assault, medic, and engineer. Some of them, like if you were getting your ass kicked by the tank over and over again, you could switch classes. And this one class was a little bit weaker, but it had a device that could target tanks from afar on foot and kill them with like an airstrike, I think it was called. So when the tank was starting to get attacked by one of those airstrikes, a warning signal would go. It would go beep, 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 warning you that a fucking airstrike was being targeted. It's funny. I love this game so much it actually makes me almost want to cry that I miss it. So amateur tank drivers would just like run out of the tank and be like, oh fuck, airstrike. But what you could do is take the tank and drive as fast as you could and try to find a bridge or a building or something you could hide under. And the airstrike would come down, it would hit the bridge and stop. So you'd survive in the tank. But that would kind of limit the tank's attack on you, because then they couldn't just drive anywhere. They would have to hide underneath that bridge. And then while they were hiding underneath the bridge, what you could do is pick the engineer class and throw down some landmines off the bridge down to where they're hiding down there. So you could like shoo them out that way. And then the most fun part, I think, of the whole game was flying the helicopter. Oh god, was that helicopter amazing. It's like you could start off the level, get into the helicopter, and that was like the most prized possession. If you could run and get the helicopter first and be the pilot, it was the most fun. So everyone would try to run and get in first. But then if you didn't get the pilot position, you could be like in the dock, like, you know, the helicopters in the army have like wide open walls. So you can look out with your gun and shoot at people. So it's like, oh god, was that fun. It's like, man, you'd have like sometimes like 5 or 6 people in the back of your helicopter, some with rocket launchers, some with fucking mines, some with like assault rifles, and they're just like shooting out of the windows. Oh fuck, I miss that game. It was so fun. I have to summon the claim because it's too far down that cliff and I don't want to fall in the water. Yeah, so in the same thing, they made one-hit kills with the helicopter for certain weapons. So if you took out a rocket launcher and like you were hiding on a building, and then you saw the helicopter fly by, you could like shoot out a rocket, and if it hit the helicopter, it would just explode, and everyone in it would die instantly. And then sometimes people would see the rocket coming and like jump out of the helicopter. Oh fuck, man, I miss that game so much. It's like just like fucking talking about it gets me emotional. It's hilarious. It was like one of the happiest times of my life. I think that's what it is. It's like that game brought more joy to my life than anything else. Family, sorry, you're second. Yeah, and so yeah, flying those helicopters, fuck, that was amazing too. And I actually played that game religiously for so long, and I would just play the same level over and over and over again, well, as much as I could, because they had a level voting system. So after the vote or level ended, they would allow each player to vote on what level they wanted to play next, and then that's what the game would load for the next level for everyone. So more often than not, Bridge Too Far would be picked because it was everyone's favorite level, but then occasionally people get sick of him, well, like, oh fuck, let's play a different level for a change. I think Backstab was another one. If anyone played Bridge Too Far, what was your favorite level? Backstab, Bridge Too Far. I think there was Gold, something that was also a popular level. So dear God, I miss that game so much. And the kicker is, people are like, oh, why doesn't someone just emulate the servers and you can play it again online? It was funny, DICE and Battlefield 2, or was it EA? They fucking designed the servers to be a special type of server that only they can run. It's like they have this weird way of doing it where it was just like a new type of technology, and once that server went down, you could never play it again. Game over. And the shitty thing is, the servers were still packed with players when they fucking shut them down. And how some of the gamers fought back is they refused to turn off the game. They said they realized that DICE and EA were warning everyone they were going to shut them down. Oh, here's some fruit. And what they said was, as long as they'll let their servers stay open, as long as everyone finishes their matches, and once their game session is over, then the servers would close. So what some people did to fight back is they just never turned off their PlayStation to try to keep the server open as long as possible. So we stretched it out for a few more weeks that way, but yeah, eventually the fucking servers were down. Could never play the game ever again. Gone from history. The best game ever. They fucking took it away. Sons of bitches. Well, I shouldn't really be that upset because really it got my life back. I was so addicted to that game. No, people would watch me play the game sometimes. Or no, my buddy, he was playing with his girlfriend would be watching, and he'd be playing against me at his house. And then yeah, his girlfriend would comment. She'd be like, what the hell is with Leland? And then he'd be like, why? What do you mean? And she goes like, why does he win every time? It's like you have matches like 24 players going, and I'd play for hours, and it wouldn't even be close. No one would even be close to beating me. It's like sometimes I would play the whole level and perfect it, where I would never even die, and I would get like 10 times more points than anyone else. It was pretty ridiculous. And why that was the case is when you played Battlefield 2 Bridge Too Far, it was much like a chess match, where if you could anticipate what your players, like your opponents, were going to do, you could use strategy. And then that strategy would make you almost impossible to kill unless they could think of a strategy that would beat you. And then it's like a cunning battle, right? Like, it's not just, oh, I have a gun and I'm shooting everywhere. It's like, now you have to decide, should I be the engineer? Should I be the tank driver? Should I be the helicopter driver? Should I be the jeep driver? And then sometimes I would even fuck with people where I'd beat the whole level and not even kill anyone. Because you could get points from capturing flags, or for like healing people and doing other shit. So I'd be like, hey, you guys are tired of me killing you? I'll beat you all but not even killing you. So I'd just go around capturing all the flags and still win. It was pretty funny. If anyone remembers my name in the game, it was Leland KW. You probably recognize me because I was getting first every time. Now I think out of thousands of matches, I would maybe not get first once or twice occasionally. If I was like playing against a group, sometimes a group would realize that I was winning every time, and they would get their whole team to just focus to try to kill me. Try. Oh God, I missed that game. Yeah, maybe what I'll do, I'll give you guys a quick shout out to that game. Alright, I got everything ready. Let's check it out. Before we see the Battlefield cover, let's get a quick roll from the Bitcoin casino. Excuse me, 32,902. Boom, 32,920. Woohoo! Alright, so here's the cover of Battlefield 2 for PlayStation 2. This is my all-time favorite game ever invented. I tell you guys to play it, but it's non-existent anymore. You can play the one-player version, like offline, but it's nothing the same as the online version. It's actually a drastically different game that also has high reviews. So I guess technically if you wanted to play it, Today I would recommend playing it on Xbox 360 because they made a revised version with better graphics. Fuck, I wish they would release that again. I would buy any console that would release this game. Even if it was $2,000, I would still buy it. I'd buy 3 of them. Well, who am I kidding? I don't have 3 friends that are coming over anymore. Oh well. Yeah, as you get older, your friend circles shrink smaller and smaller, right? Let's see. But it could be for the best. Maybe I'll have time for women one of these days. Alright, so yeah, that was the game. Holy shit, did I love that game. So yeah, that's where PlayStation was pissing me off. When they fucked everyone over with Battlefield 2 like that, I almost could never forgive them. But then I was thinking, God, I'll get the PlayStation 3, and I started playing the game on that, and it sped up the loading times and stuff, so that was kind of neat, while you could still play it. Yeah, and then SOCOM 2. Oh yeah, and then all the other games like Risk, what was another one? Bomberman, Street Fighter, Tetris. Those are all a lot of the games that I used to like playing and buying each iteration for each Sony as it got better and better. Then I started to realize that like they pretty much capped out at the PlayStation 2 or even the PS3 versions. Occasionally there was a good PS3 version. Although I bought the PS3 and got Battlefield 3, fucking hated it. Worst game I've ever played. I'm like, how could you go from Battlefield 2, release Part 3? Like, Part 3 had better graphics, but the gameplay was absolute garbage. Never once had fun playing it. The levels were not designed the same way. They're just like one giant fucking field, instead of like multiple bases and everything like that. It's like, to capture the flag elements, I don't think they had those down as well. It was just not fun to play. I think I played it for a week or two and I went back to Battlefield 2. I was like, man, this is trash. And then that's why, what is it, EA and DICE, they realized that everyone was just going back to the old game, so that's when they shut it down. Instead of making the game better, they took the other one away so that we couldn't play it. Because they wanted the in-app purchases. So I was like, fuck EA, why don't you just remake Battlefield 2, Bridge Too Far, or Modern Combat, and add in-app purchases, and just do it clothing-wise. Because as soon as you start adding guns and stuff that are better for people to deposit, that breaks the balance. And when you break the balance, guess what happens? Then the game isn't fun to play anymore. Because what makes it fun is the ability to win, right? If you can't win, it's not fun. That's the main reason I stopped going to the casinos. It's because the payouts got so low and the buy-ins got so high that I was like, fuck it, there's no way to win. Why the hell am I even going here? Like, I don't know, some people say it is still possible to win at the casino, but I think compared to like when I was like going to the casinos in the 90s or the 2000s, like you'd see like 3/4 of the people come out going, yeah, I won, I won. It's like stand in front of the casino door these days. How many people are you seeing do that? Maybe 1 an hour? Maybe 1 a day? Most people are just like, oh God, I lost everything. It's like playing Entropia. Alright, let's get a quick message from the sponsor after we find out if I looted anything. Ah, fuck, looted something. Alright, before I dig this up, let's get a quick message from the sponsor. Today's Battlefield 2 Modern Combat lore is brought to you by Crack! Crack! It'll fuck you up. Woo! Alright everybody, we're back. Let's get down to some digging. But yeah, what is today? Today's the 8th, so yeah, a good week. So it took me a week before I started dreaming. God, that's pretty intense. I must have had a lot of fucking THC in me. Took a week to process it out. Ah, fuck, I keep closing that. Ah, alright. Yeah, so once I realized that PlayStation started to get worse and worse games, I started to pay attention to that. I'm like, wait a minute, are these new consoles and new versions of the game even worth buying? It's like, are they actually better? Like, the graphics, sure, it looks shinier and more detailed, but is the game more fun to play? And then that's when I realized, I'm like, fuck man, PS2 and PS3 a little had way better shit than PS4. Like, I'll tell you my story about owning my PlayStation 4. Originally, when PlayStation 4 came out, I splurged and bought the gold edition. Is that a limited edition or whatever, gold PS4? And I realized that none of the games I liked, and I was like, shit, I bought it and it's been sitting on my desk for like 3 weeks and I didn't even play it once because it's not even any fun. So I ended up selling it, and I'm like, maybe PlayStation will come out with better games later. Or no, I ended up returning it because it was still in with the return window. Because I'm like, man, if I don't even play this thing, what the fuck's the point? And I really started to get irritated by charging the controller and no fun games. And all the online servers, I couldn't play them because they were charging money. So then what I did is I'm like, oh, I shouldn't be so cheap. I should fucking pay the PlayStation Plus, try this online service, see how great it is and how all the players are. And that's when I realized that when I bought PlayStation Plus to play the other online games, got into the servers, all the other games are empty. So the only ones that have online players are the free-to-play games anyways. So I was like, fuck, what was that a waste? And then I'm like, oh, but they give you a free game every month. So I'm like, that's kind of neat. And then they offer discounts on buying full-price games because you're a member of this PlayStation Plus shit, right? So I'm like, oh, that sounds kind of neat. So I signed up, got it, started downloading these games. Then I found out that all these games I'm downloading onto my hard drive, as soon as my PlayStation Plus expires, they take away all the games. So I'm like, what the fuck? You give me these free games, but they're not actually free. I'm paying a monthly fee or you take them away. So I was like, what the fuck's that bullshit, right? So I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'll just buy the game then and use the PlayStation Plus discount. So what happens is I buy a game that's like $80 or something, get $2 off with PlayStation Plus. Guess what happens when your PlayStation Plus expires? They take away the game that you paid full price for minus the $2. So I was like, what? Unless I keep paying you a monthly fee, I lose my $80 games? Fuck you, Sony. It's like, you sons of bitches. That's got to be the fucking most backstabbing business practice I've ever seen. To give someone a $2 discount, but they'll take the fucking game away if you stop paying them a monthly fee. Yeah, fuck you. Sorry to be a little upset at Sony, but I'm very passionate about gaming. Alright, so yeah, that's when I started to play, was it Street Fighter on PS4? Oh god, that's the worst Street Fighter rendition I've ever played. It's like fucking slow motion compared to the other ones. I don't know if they were getting lag issues on the servers and that's why they made it slow motion. But pop in like a Street Fighter game on fucking Super Nintendo and it's faster than that bullshit. It's like, Tiger Uppercut, Tiger Knee, Tiger Flame. It's like, the other game was Tiger Knee, Tiger Flame. It's like, what the fuck, man? It's like not even close to the same game. It's like, I almost feel like I'm drunk or something when I'm playing. I'm like, Jesus, I'm so slow. I can barely move. I talk even slower. And I don't even think normal or younger gamers notice because they never played the Super Nintendo version. So they don't realize that the game can be way, way faster than this PS4 version. This PS4 version's like dumbed down for some reason. They did that with Risk too. Risk was one of my favorite games for PlayStation, even Genesis. And then Sony 1 came out, really good version. Sony 2 came out, fucking best version ever. It was Risk Factions. I don't know if anyone's played that. I'd like to brag and say I was really good at that. I thought I was. And then I checked my brother's ranking, and my brother made it into the top 10 ranking in the whole world. And I was like in the thousands. So I was like, holy shit, my younger brother's way better at me than this game. I was happy for him for that, because my whole life, usually when we competed with each other, I would win at everything. And you can tell it frustrated him. Oh fuck, I dropped a probe instead of... Well, maybe I'll find two. What? I did find two. So I guess sometimes it's not a waste to drop 2 probes, right? I know other people are probably saying that. Hey, you should drop 2 probes. That's kind of funny. I found 2 Listeriums right next to each other. I don't really know mining very well, so maybe it's common to find 2 right next to each other. 2 at the same time. Who doesn't want 2 at the same time, right? Get your mind out of the gutter. Or I should say, get my mind out of the gutter. I swear I'm gonna go outside as soon as this lockdown shit's over. I know people are always laughing because I'm constantly arguing for the masks and lockdowns to be over. And they're like, man, you should really wear some masks and follow the lockdowns. It's like, what do you think I am doing? It's like, I'm always wear masks and follow the lockdown. I'm just against it. I don't actually break the laws for it because, man, what happens if people are right? That'd be a pretty shitty situation. But I was happy. Did you hear what happened? The Canadian government admitted yesterday they got the data back from how many seniors died, and it is on pace exactly with a regular flu season. And then they're also saying that, oh, they admit Sweden had the best approach. They looked at Sweden now, even studied the data. They had fewer deaths in their senior population, fewer deaths overall. So they had the best way. And I couldn't believe our government actually admitted it yesterday. I almost had a heart attack reading that. I was like, normally I'm always arguing with them. I couldn't believe it. They agreed with me. Wow, lots of Listerium here. I like it. I think I like it a lot. Now, Jim Carrey used to be one of my favorite actors. Until I found out he was sleeping around and giving a whole bunch of girls herpes without telling them. Well, I guess I still kind of like his movies. Maybe not so much his personal life. Whoa, I got a little bit more on that one. That was kind of cool. Maybe I'll drop a probe here. Let's end this hot streak. Yeah, so what was it, Tetris? I think that would be one of the games I'll admit that it actually got better in renditions, right up to PlayStation 3. I haven't tried the PS4 version if there is one, so I can't say if that one got worse. Bomberman steadily got worse. It's almost unplayable at the PlayStation 4 level. Risk, unplayable at the PlayStation 4 level. Street Fighter, unplayable at the PlayStation 4 level. Shitty controller. I'm like, what the fuck, right? Am I really going to invest more money in buying another Sony? I don't fucking think so. Unless they release Bridge Too Far or Modern Combat, Battlefield 2, boom, I'll be in the store in seconds to get it. And I don't even care the price. Well, can you imagine I do that and they fucking change the game enough that it sucks too? I'm a little bit worried that they'll do that, but oh well. Did I find anything that last drop? No. Good. So what I decided to do after all this contemplation about buying the Sony 5 was like, okay, I'm going to make the switch to Xbox, try that. Maybe I'll like the Xbox new system better. Like maybe the fucking controller's better. I don't see any fucking bullshit on it. Maybe they added that stupid mouse screen on it. I hope not. They don't have any flashing lights on the controllers that are fucking draining the battery, so you have to charge it every day. But then I ran into a problem. I wanted to buy the Xbox, the new one, and I wanted to get the digital only, and I have a 4K TV. So I'm like, okay, let's go buy the new Xbox, the digital only. Guess what? The new digital only version doesn't support 4K. I'm like, what the fuck? The new Xbox doesn't support 4K? How fucking stupid is that? So I'm like, alright, there goes the plan of buying the new Xbox. People are saying, oh, just buy the disc version. Well, I don't want the disc version. I don't buy discs. So why the hell am I going to buy the disc version? Every game that I own for consoles these days is always digital only. I don't support the pollution of it. There's no reason to be making discs at this point anymore. Just creating pollution for nothing. People are like, oh, what happens if you want to keep your game after you format it or whatever? The archives keep your game online, so you can just re-download it if you had to format. So there is no reason to have a disc. And then people, oh, you could sell the used games. Well, I never sell my games. I always keep each one. I've got my entire game archive going all the way back to PlayStation 2. I still have all my copies of Modern Combat sitting on my counter. Or on my shelf. Oh, I got some Narc. Narc is good markup. I like this shit. God, I gotta hurry up. 32 drops? I'm not even close. Thought I saw fruit on the ground. No, guys, I'm pretty sure how slow I'm doing this. It's gonna take tomorrow's episode to finish this. Yeah, so that's my rant about buying video games. And where that all came to is now I'm deciding, did I want to buy the PS4 or the PS5, the new Xbox, or a book? And I was thinking, man, there's a new book that I just found out yesterday. Costs more than the fucking consoles do. And I'm thinking about getting that instead of the consoles. Can you imagine that? I'm thinking of fucking buying a book instead of the new consoles. Well, mainly because I only play Entropia. I haven't found any games that are fun on these new consoles, so like what the hell am I going to spend all that money on these consoles for and I won't even play them? They'll just be sitting on my fucking shelf collecting dust like my PS4. I even got the VR for PS4 Pro to see if I would like it, and yeah, I liked it okay, but not enough to keep playing it. It's decent. I think what it is I like VR and seeing other people's reactions to playing it, and if I don't have any people coming over to visit, especially in this pandemic time, that I just don't play it because it's not something I like to do solo. You know, a lot of things solo just aren't as fun, right? Get your mind out of the gutter. So I'm not like totally bashing on the consoles. Maybe Xbox and PS5 are going to turn this around, release the new Battlefield game that's a copy of the version 2 and have it all souped up with better graphics. Maybe a few in-app purchases for clothing, but not for the weapons. If they start fucking doing that with the weapons, it ruins the whole game. So I sure as hell hope they don't do that. Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping, like. Oh yeah, and if people are wondering what the hell book am I buying that costs that much money, it's for my gravity well research. What happened was there's this guy in ancient times, Perry Reese. It's funny, his name's almost spelled the same as mine. That was another funny thing. Yeah, one of my viewers was saying that. He noticed that his name is almost the same as it too. No, so Perry Reese released a map, and it was like a very obscure map, and then Ancient Aliens played a few episodes about it because like, hey, this map shows the whole world back before anyone discovered North America. And it even showed like the Antarctic continents, and it showed the landmass underneath the ice, and it had it mapped identically. So like, how the hell did people in the ancient times know what the continents look like under the ice? Like, we didn't know that until we developed satellite technology that could see through ice. So yeah, they're trying to solve this map. The Ancient Aliens episode was trying to say there was aliens that gave them the map technology. But then I realized, the more I studied it, that every navigator in the ancient times was using that same style of map. And they called them portalon maps or whatever. So it wasn't just Perry Reese. And then it was only until modern maps were invented that we forgot all that technology because we switched. Similar how the consoles upgraded, we upgraded the maps, and the maps got worse. It's funny, eh? How so many things connect. That was a Da Vinci saying. He's like, you learn to see when you realize that all things connect to everything. Everything's connected. Yeah, who knows? Maybe tomorrow's episode I'll have enough Listerium from doing these craft or mining runs that I'll be able to craft and complete the Lesser Eliza mission. I'm interested to see what the reward is for that. Yeah, so Perry Reese had that one map out, and then just recently, like when I started doing the gravity well research, I was checking the Wikipedia articles, and the Turkish Museum updated some new maps. Because Perry Reese worked for the Ottoman Empire, the Turkish people ended up getting a copy of all his maps, and they kept it secret from the rest of the world for decades. Well, I guess centuries even, right? However old Perry Reese was. I think he was from the 1500s or something. So, yeah. So Perry Reese happened to have all these other maps, and it turns out he had a huge book, and the Turkey kept it secret. So what they did is people obviously wanted a copy of this book, and it's like a giant 80-pound book in a museum, just loaded with these amazing maps. And they updated a few of them to the website, but obviously most of them are still in the book. So I fucking want that book bad, right? And then obviously a lot of other people did. And the museum sold the original one. I think, what was it? They got a fair chunk of change for it. I can't remember. Actually, it seemed a little bit low compared to what I thought it would sell for. But anyways, yeah. They sold it, and then the person who bought it fucking got a company to make identical copies of it. Like facsimile copies. Like you put it right next to the antique version, and some people wouldn't even be able to tell which it was. Other than the brand new ones are obviously a little bit better condition than these ancient ones. But yeah, it's like an identical copy. Same book binding, same everything. So I'm like, man, I want this copy really bad. And I found out, like, Turkey is the only place you can get it. And anyone who buys it and ships it to North America sells it for a huge increased price because they have to ship a fucking 80-pound book to get it here, right? And the book isn't cheap to begin with. It's fucking a huge book, lots of colors and really expensive binding and all that shit. And when you buy it, obviously Perry Reese didn't speak English because he was working for Turkey. So I don't know, Turkish I guess he would have spoke, or whatever language that is for that region. Sorry, I'm not the greatest about overseas stuff. The only thing they teach us in North America, or at least Canada, was Native American treaties. So it's like, that's basically my extent knowledge. Spent like, 12 years of my life fucking learning about treaties and how to build igloos, or not igloos, teepees and canoes. Aren't I glad I learned that instead of fucking European history? So I know nothing about my own people. No, I don't know, did they tell people in Europe that? Did they tell you that like Canadians or North Americans in general just completely abandoned Europe? Or that's what they encouraged us to do in the 80s and 90s a little? I think more so when people come from other countries now, they don't completely abandon their culture and they just ignore Canadian culture. So maybe seeing both sides of that argument. Maybe it is better that we just abandon everything and work together and like had our own culture and just sort of like, it was like a big teamwork thing, right? Like back in the 80s, if you were even caught speaking like your native language, like say if you were from Russia and you were caught speaking Russian, you'd be shunned. So it's like nowadays when you come from your country and you speak your own language, it's like no one's going to shun you. If anything, they might admire you because you can speak another language. So lots changed in Canada that way. But anyways, yeah, the Turkish place, they have a copy like on their main website, and then they have a website on eBay or posting on eBay too. And apparently this book is limited edition. They only made 1,000 copies, so that's why it costs like $400. And technically it's $299 US, but the way our exchange rate is an extra 100, right? So fuck, man, I can almost guarantee I'm getting a copy of that book one way or another. Fuck the video games. And I was thinking too, like, people are like, God, are you really going to use that book more than video games? Well, A, I don't fucking play the video game consoles till a good game comes out. There's no sign of any good games anytime soon. Maybe years from now they'll release a good one. So yeah, I don't have to worry about wasting the money because I'd be playing it on video games. And that book, like when I get that book and do a review and post it on YouTube, I can guarantee you it's going to get at least 1,000 views. And if it happens to be a good review, like I don't fucking butcher the video and make it decent quality, I think it has a chance to go viral. So really, like, what is the better investment? Buying a video game console I'll never use, or buying a book that could like turn my career around on YouTube? So that's my logic to buying this fucking super expensive book. Fucking costs more than a PlayStation and Xbox. Alright, we got some more fruit and shit. We got a few more clicks away. Hey, let's try to just do this quick. Well, I'll finish quick, right? It's supposed to be my specialty. Now, are the ladies going to be disappointed when they find out finishing quick isn't my specialty? No, did anyone hear the John McAfee story and his prostitutes? They're like, not only was John McAfee into scat, they say, but they said he developed a sex drug in his drug lab in Belize, which enabled him to have sex non-stop for days. So they're like, he had like lineups of prostitutes because they couldn't take the fucking pounding that he was giving out. So John McAfee was definitely not finishing quick. Oh man, that John McAfee guy is such a character. It's like, as much as I ream on him a lot and make fun of him, it's like, he's probably one hell of a guy to party with. Not that I'd want to make out with them. That's not where that was going. Don't get your hopes up, guys. Alright, 3 or 4 more drops after this one. Or maybe 3, depending if this one counts. Hey, copper stone. I don't recall picking up copper too often. Who knows, maybe I'll get that Blood of the Gods times 3 times if I keep doing these. Alright, come on, let's get some more good drops. Whoops. Yeah, has anyone else come with a regular finder here and done the run that I'm doing to see if their returns are any better? Like, I don't know, if I used a regular finder, it would burn a lot more probes. And then the 5 ped that I win from the reward probably wouldn't cover the cost that I spent on probes. Oh, and like I said before, once my finder reaches the next tier rate, I'm going to try tiering it up. So that'll be an episode coming up in the future. If anyone found out the episode where I showed my my transaction history, if you can put in the chat what the name of the episode is, I really appreciate it, guys. I know for the patrons, I'm going to have to start coming up with some giveaways. Alright, there we go. Did I find anything? I think not. Alright, so that's good. Finished. Which one should I pick? The leggings are worth a lot. Should I pick that again? The shirt, I don't know much about. The footwear, I don't know much about. The sleek pants. Oh, they're making limited pants. I don't know. I'm going to go with the leggings just because I love leggings. And I think the leggings print is worth a little bit more. Let me check. Yeah, no one's even sold the leggings yet. I figured that because it's such a good print. Who the hell would sell it on the auction? So what I'm going to do is I'll swing by Rocktropia, stack some more of my legging prints, make like a good size legging print. So it has like maybe 100 clicks or something, and then bring it to fucking... either my shops aren't selling it too hot, so I'll try the auction. Or maybe if Bonnie holds another auction, I'll make a giant leggings print for it. Alright, so that's that for this episode. Now my character is going to have to run all the way back to the fucking teleporter. Where the hell is it? I can try to make it to that one. That's where I'll try to get to, Warrior Peak. Wish me luck, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow. Alright, thanks for watching, everybody. Big shout out especially to the patrons who are helping. Society 6, Swagbucks, GameKit, Bitcoin, and Virtual Maid Sex Machine. It's for adults and men only. But if ladies need a sex machine, you know who. Just kidding. Alright, so we also got, what is it? Yep. The Entropia zine links are below. Raven Jade shirt links, coolest vampire in Entropia. She's got shops in the game too. She does YouTubing. Make sure to check out her channel. She gave me shout outs on her channel. That's the main reason I'm helping her out. Trying to return the favor. Not giving favoritism to whoever has the best boobs in Entropia. I swear. Can you tell when I'm lying? Okay. Anyways, yeah, so make sure you never buy the products from my sponsor, because it will ruin your life. Bye for now, everyone. See ya. Stay safe. Make sure to listen to the authorities, even if you don't agree with them. Here's 3 things. Enjoy.